Hi, I'm Todd from HomeConstructionImprovement.com. Today I want to show you how to really easily change out a regular thermostat with a programmable thermostat. Here I've got a programmable thermostat. Here's our existing one, which is just a regular thermostat. All thermostats look a little different. You may have a round one, you may have an older rectangular one. There's lots of different variations on it, so you'll have to do a little bit of research to kind of figure out what kind you have. But you know, using a programmable thermostat is one of the easiest ways to cut back on your energy costs. Fuel continues to increase in cost, and this is one way of cutting back on your bills and you know, making sure your home's a little bit more comfortable in the wintertime. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first step obviously is buying a thermostat. What you need to know is you need to know if you're a low voltage thermostat or a line voltage thermostat. That sometimes is difficult to figure out, but you'll be able to tell once you take it off. If there's small thermostat wires coming into it, you've got a low voltage. If you've got regular, like a 14 gauge wire coming into it, that would be a line voltage thermostat. So you'll have to do a little research. You know, maybe take some photos on your phone, carry it to the home improvement center, and they can help you pick out the right one. Also, there's a lot of different variations on these depending on how complicated your heating and cooling system is. Today I'm only showing you how to do a very simple low voltage for heat only. No air conditioning, nothing else like that. It's just a little bit too complicated for this short little video. So today again I'm only doing heat, and it's a low voltage system. So why don't we get to it. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this apart, and then we can get ready to put this new one in. Real quick before we get going on this is one big safety thing that we should take into account. Even though this is low voltage, it's really important to shut off the power for a couple of reasons. One is, you know, you could get a small little electric shock, you know, that would be uncomfortable. But the other reason is that we don't want to short circuit something and cause some damage to the boiler. So before you get going, go downstairs, shut off your emergency power switch to the boiler. It's usually either a red switch plate in a lot of homes that's near an entrance to the boiler room, or there may be, you know, a safety switch right on the boiler itself. Either way, shut one of those off before we get started. Okay. Okay, so for this thermostat, I've got a little set screw here. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to tip this up, and there you go. Most thermostats pull away from the unit that's attached to the wiring. There'll be some little electrodes that connect it. The first thing you want to check is make sure you don't see a mercury switch. In the older thermostats, would be a mercury switch. You want to be very careful that you don't drop that and break it. Obviously, mercury's you know, a pretty nasty contamination issue, so you don't want to break that. So we're going to take this off, and then the first clue to what we're doing here is this thermostat only has two wires. It has a red and a white, and what we want to do is we want to make a note. So on this particular one, the white is going into what's labeled as red, or as white, excuse me, and the red one goes into one that has a red jumper in it, which tells me that that's the side where we're going to be going. You know, the instruction manuals for these are pretty good about telling you which one you should connect to, but the most important part here is to look at these wires, take special note of them so that when you install the new one, you know what you're doing. So here's the new thermostat, and before we get going, I just want to look at how many. This one obviously is set up for, you know, a pretty complicated system, but what I want to make sure is that the wires I see up here are going to be going to the same wires on this thermostat, and if they're not the same, you need to look through your manual and kind of take note and see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to just make some notes for myself about where the white and where the red is located on here, and make sure that I have the same setup when we switch these over. Okay, so now we're gonna, you want to be careful when you disconnect the other one that you do not let this wire fall into the wall. You're gonna have a heck of a time getting a hold of it. I'm gonna install it just like we did before. So now I've got my red and white that I used before. They happen to be backwards on this application, so I'm going to switch them around. My red one's going to go here. This has jumpers in it just like my last one did, and then I'm going to get the white into its location. So here I've got the red and the white, and then I've got one of these little eyeglass. You're going to need one of these, so if you don't have one of these little bitty screwdrivers, you're going to have to get one. Almost all thermostats use these little teeny set screws, so you'll need one. And we're going to get this all nice and tight. Make sure the wire, the nuts are nice and tight so nothing's loose. You don't want to short circuit. Use the screws that came with the thermostat. Notice I had a couple of sheetrock anchors in there. Last time there were none, so I put a couple in that came with the package this time. That'll just help ensure that we're not pulling this away and stripping it. And then you just want to tighten this wiring chassis to the wall. Okay, so the bracket's attached to the wall. Everything's nice and secure, nice and level. My two wires are connected to it. Everything's nice and tight. So then we're going to take the face unit. I've installed two brand new batteries, as the directions indicate. I've checked to make sure that the gas oil switch is pushed to that side because we have a gas boiler here. And you'll see these little electrodes are going to plug into this. You want to be pretty gentle when you put this in. Typically they attach to the top face, and then you're going to slowly push it in until it snaps together. And there you go. It's all set to program. I'll get this all set up. There you have it, folks. My new programmable thermostat's in. It took about 10 minutes to replace. It's really easy to do. It's going to save you a bunch of money. All I have to do now is I need to program it. Ours, this one here I bought was a single day programmable thermostat. It's the cheapest one on the market. For us, it's this. We want the same temperature every day of the week, so it doesn't matter. You can get them so that weekdays are different from weekends. You can get them so that the 5 weekdays are different than Saturday, which is again different from Sunday. So depending on your needs, you can find a programmable thermostat that fits your needs. This particular unit cost about $30. They range anywhere from $30 up to about $120, depending on how complex they are. So if you'd like to save some money on your heating bills, why don't you switch over to a programmable thermostat? You'll be able to turn the heat down when you're not at the house during the day while you're working. You can have it turned down at night while you're sleeping and have it come on in the morning along with your coffee. So great way to save money and also improve the quality and comfort of the heat in your home. I'm Todd from HomeConstructionImprovement.com.